as you said, well, actually, it's not Alcorn, it's Alcorn. I thought of a big cornfield. And so then when we started discussing the fact that it is a land-grant university, first tell folks, what is a land-grant university? Because many people may not be aware that many HBCUs and colleges fit under that categorization.
Sure.
What does that mean?
Sure. Well, land-grant institutions are ones that were designated by the government to be set aside to do two things. One, originally for agriculture, as a base, obviously, coming out after the Civil War for the economy and for training, but also to do real community engagement, community involvement. So some of the other institutions were considered kind of the academic houses, and our institutions were one to say, wait, we have a responsibility not just to the students at the institution, but our broader communities, to be engaged in extension work. And throughout the state, we have that responsibility and that obligation to engage our community partners in ways that benefit the state in this broadest context. So we're the nation's oldest historically black public land-grant university, proud of our rich historic heritage, and moving boldly and progressively into the future.
Excellent. And what year were you founded, actually?
1871.
And now I heard a little interesting tidbit, because many of my folks know that's the Reconstruction period, and that Hiram Revels had a connection here.
Absolutely. Hiram Revels, who was the first black U.S. senator post-Reconstruction, also was the first president of Alcorn State University. So we're incredibly proud to have that rich history. And indeed, lots of folks may not know, but Alcorn was the home for Alex Haley when he went to college, Medgar and Murley Evers. So we have this really incredible lineage of strong activists and leaders who are dedicated to building worlds of inclusion and equity for all.
Right, and it's really wonderful. I appreciate you all bringing me in as you all go forward at Alcorn and that mission, and especially inclusion and diversity, because more often than not, people aren't aware that Geechee extends into Mississippi, that we have many Gullah Geechee people that are here, and I understand that the university is being run by one. Who's your university president?
Well, our university president, Dr. M. Christopher Brown II from Charleston, South Carolina.
The Chuck Town.
There it is. So we've got South Carolina roots, we've got connections right there. So we think of it as everybody, we're just coming home when you come here to Alcorn State.
That's so true. So, on the chillin', y'all going home with me to Alcorn. Now, let me see if any corn day upon the campus when we get there. Y'all gonna get a little peep this year day while we the travel. Hunter chillin' know this year the Queen Quet, and when Hunter there with me, Hunter going know this year the what going on. Children to do this year, the Queen Quet, way down in Mississippi. No, I ain't there home this year time, but you see, we're now at Alcorn. This year campus founded by Hiram Revels. Now, how much of 100 children remember that name? If you don't know, then you need to know. Now, just like you see right here, he been one of we first folks to be first president here, but he also been one of we Reconstruction congressmen, you know that. See, y'all have to know these kind of things. And then, look at this shit, the oldest land-grant college for we people in the U.S. That way we the stand today, that way the history still are going on. Now, one thing y'all probably done say, I ain't never heard of Alcorn for now anyway, but Alcorn in Mississippi won HBCU of the year too, you understand? So I know, say, Hiram Revels glad that this year day done come, and that his vision for this year land still does stand. Hunter children know if Hunter today with me, that Hunter going to know this year what going on. This year the Queen Quet coming from down in Mississippi. So glad for had a good time y'all with the family. Peace and blessings. Well, how are the children to do this year? The Queen Quet coming to Hunter from Alcorn University. And look, y'all, who I just sit down with. The head man rung ya. And guess where they from? The hike. Choctaw, Charleston, South Kakalaki, in the Gullah Geechee Nation. I know some of y'all will say, great God, I know that face there. Yeah. Look, y'all, this year, the Chris Brown. Now, the rest of y'all who in the Gullah Geechee, y'all understand me, the top of the singer. This year, the true Chris Brown, right here. Right. And now we so glad for see Hunter, and Yeti say you've been here about 2.5 years.
Almost 3 years.
Last week. and come all the way to Mississippi.
I get home.
What kind of every now and then?
Every now and then.
Don't tell me you don't come in there for nobody's wake and no funeral.
And the funeral. You
Stop
know
with
they
that.
come for a funeral.
Oh,
just left a funeral.
Goodness, great.
They don't
you
do it like they used to do.
With the sit-ups.
With the sit-up.
And
They
then
don't
the
have the
long
sit.
wig
Yeah,
and all
no,
that.
we don't have all
No.
that. You have a family viewing out and they do the visitation.
Sign the little book.
And it's over.
And it's over. Ain't like a backyard and you get a few shouting. Get all their stories and
was
things
less
about
than
people.
an hour and a half.
No,
2 hours.
and you know it don't roll like that before.
But the eating was good.
Oh, I know that. Look like you know what to eat.
Yeah, we
Look like you know what to eat.
We ate.
Okay. Well, tell me, what made you leave South Carolina and end up in Mississippi and end up in charge of all this? Tell the people what your title is here.
Well, I was a president here, but it was a long
journey.
Long journey. I left. Went to South Carolina State.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Orangeburg, majoring in elementary ed. I did, and being self-contained, I was special ed.
Oh, special ed.
I was special ed.
Okay.
Went to Chicora Elementary.
Yeah.
I was hyper, so they put me out, and I went to Morningside.
Okay.
And so I knew I couldn't really be self-contained long. So I was teaching elementary, but I'd be self-contained. I was in that room all day.
All day.
So every day I'd volunteer to go pick up lunch for the teachers.
Oh, wow.
Because I had to get out.
You had to get out of there.
And then I said, I'm going to get a master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Orangeburg, District 5, and I said, I want to work in the district office.
Oh, boy.
So I wouldn't be in that building.
But now this is a whole nother beast
so,
once you get in the district office.
You come and go.
You just come and go. You can come and go.
And so I went and got my master's. Went to get my master's at University of Kentucky. Then they was like, "Oh, you smart. You could read, right?
You can read."
And so they said, "Go get your doctorate."
Mm-hmm.
And so I got it 25. I graduated Penn State.
Excellent.
And then I became a professor, and then it just
kept on from there. So now, becoming president here, I mean, it sounds like, I got my doctorate, and then I became president of the university. I don't think that's quite how that story goes, right? So what did you do between your doctorate degree and getting here?
God was good. It says steps of a good man are
ordered by the Lord.
So I was a professor in Illinois, and then Penn State hired me back. I went to Penn State. Mm-hmm. Then, there was some tension in the department because I was young, and I was back working with people who used to be my faculty. Mm-hmm. So I went on leave. I went to D.C. Mm-hmm. I worked at United Negro College Fund.
Oh, interesting.
As executive director. Mm-hmm. And I left there, went across D.C. to the Teachers Association. Uh-huh. And then I left there. I kept getting promoted. Right. And so I left Teachers Association and went to UNLV in Las Vegas.
Really?
And became Dean of Education.
Excellent. I've spoken in Las Vegas at the Cultural Center there.
I still live there.
Really?
Yeah. I still live in Vegas. I go to Victory Baptist Church, 500 West Monroe. Robert Fowler Sr. is our pastor.
Right on by your church.
Yeah, exactly. You got to come back.
I do.
Come back.
Yeah.
And we have Thanksgiving at my house every Thanksgiving in Vegas.
Okay.
All of Charleston, all of Georgia, all of Florida.
Come on into the house.
I can show you some pictures.
That you might not. What go on in Vegas? Supposed to remain in Vegas. You ain't supposed to have no pictures out here. Y'all hear that now? Y'all heard that now?
Turkey, dressing, candy yams, rice.
Oh, y'all trying to act like some true Gullah Geechee people today. Oh,
strawberry, pound
strawberry.
Got a corn and a tater, okra and a tomato.
All
that. And so I was there. Then Fisk was having some trouble, so I went to Nashville.
Oh, okay.
And before I could get back to Vegas, they brought me down.
Brought you here. All right. So now I have had a blessed day on this campus.
It's a special place.
It really is.
It's actually sacred ground. This is holy ground. There's a book I'll give it to you before I leave.
Please.
It's called Mississippi in Africa.
Yes, I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
And all of this land, which was former plantation land, we sit on 2,000 acres, was owned by a man named Captain Ross. Mm-hmm. And when he died, he left his land to his slaves.
I heard
to
about
be sold.
Story.
And they left. They sold it. Took a long time. They didn't want to give them the money. And they went and created a country in Africa called Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
And created towns called
Mississippi.
Greenville, Louisiana, and Africa. And so this is very sacred ground.
Absolutely.
Now, what's interesting is Captain Ross.
Yes.
And his family were from South Carolina. They weren't Mississippi.
Oh,
they weren't Mississippi
were not.
slavers. They were from
They
South
were
Carolina.
from South Carolina. Now,
And they
see,
were
I
not
didn't know
liked
that.
in Mississippi. Nobody liked the Ross.
So you think he might have done that for spite?
I think he was a different.
Just
he
a
was
different-
South Carolina.
Right.
South
So the
Carolina
mentality
was different.
Was totally
yeah.
different. Yeah, because
And-
coming from the task system to the gang system and the
Exactly.
whole structure.
Yeah. And so, it's really odd. South Carolina slavery was just different than
Yeah, it was
Mississippi
different.
slavery.
Totally.
And so he didn't act like
They did.
they did
Yeah.
here. And so they never liked
They
him.
never liked him.
Never
Right.
liked
He
him.
couldn't be part of their club.
Mm-mm.
Right. I see. So interesting. So now, coming here has been interesting for me because I was at Chicago State University.
Okay.
You know the president there.
Yeah.
I know the president there, Dr. Watson. And we had a ball talking about Gullah Geechee culture and his work.
Powerful.
Yes, very powerful with Alex Haley. But then I understand Alex Haley has a connection here.
He graduated from here. Not only did he graduate from here, his father went here. Matter of fact, his father and brother be here next week, next
Really?
Friday,
Okay.
for Founders
Founders Day. All right.
And
so it's next Friday.
if you watch Roots
Yes.
or watch or read the book, you'll remember when he goes off to college, he goes to an agricultural and mechanical college in Mississippi called Alcorn A&M.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so next
that's
time you
here.
watch it, that's
yeah,
here.
that's here.
That's
so
here.
that was the next generation.
That was the next
That was
generation.
the next generation.
Right.
Excellent. Wow. So
Yeah.
now, when they had all the different anniversaries for Roots and all of that, did you do anything special here on the campus?
We didn't. I wasn't here then, but since we've been here, we started Freedom Schools,
Okay.
which is run through the Children's Defense Fund, and the meeting and training for it is actually on the Alex Haley Farm
Is that
in
right?
Tennessee. So
Okay.
my staff go every year to
Okay.
the Alex Haley Farm, get trained,
And
then come back here, and we do literacy.
Okay.
And
so the
you might
same
not
way.
remember because you
But
was on
going
St. Helena. September Clark.
Yeah.
But we
No,
do
sometimes.
free lunch too.
You do? Okay.
I don't know if you remember when I was growing up, we'd all in the summertime you could go to
Sometimes
the
you could go,
community
that's
center
right, and get the
and
free lunch, and it was in little
the
boxes.
little box
That's
with
right.
the
little
juice
juice and the container, little sandwich.
Yeah.
That's right. And the
I
pizza
just
fruit.
started that, so we do that here.
You
now.
do it here?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That
Trying
is
to bring
excellent.
it back.
I see that. Trying to bring a little bit of home
Bring it
with
back.
Hunter wherever
You got
Hunter to go on.
Got to go.
Because if Hunter ain't know where Hunter to did from, Hunter can't know where Hunter to go on.
Can't never forget.
Tall.
Can't never forget.
Tall. But I sure ain't gonna forget my visit, Joe.
Oh,
And
please.
so glad for
You
me
got
to
to come
homeboy.
back.
I
You
have
got
to come back for true.
and do storytelling.
Because
I missed
well,
the
you
day
know I don't
and
do no
some
storytelling
history.
now.
You got
Because
to-
story and the lion and
No.
things like that, but I could give you some of history.
No, history is the story.
That's what I talk.
History is the
I
story.
do our story now.
History is
We
the
can do
story.
that and see if you ain't missed a thing this morning. Then Hunter would have
I
yelled
was out there
something.
begging for the money.
That's all right.
Begging
We
for the
gonna
money.
pray you
But
get
you
up.
know, and the story of the Sea Island
Yes,
is so powerful.
it is.
And having been to Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire, our family actually has Wolof roots. If you go and you see it, it is just so
Living
interesting.
connection.
You know, they got something they eat. I'd never get. We got someplace we went to eat the chippergin,
Okay.
which is their national dish. Ain't nothing but fish and red rice. That's all
Red
it is.
rice.
And then they had the poulet yassa, which was nothing but rice and baked chicken. You know, but so and to see the sweetgrass baskets.
Yes, same thing.
Same thing. It's very powerful.
Yes.
We went even in Egypt. I took my mom after my grandma died a few Christmases ago. Went to Egypt and we went to a local. Well, now Egypt is real funny. I didn't know it. They divide into black and white.
Yes, I
There's
did know that.
Egyptians and
Yeah.
Nubians,
Right.
which I didn't know.
Yeah.
So we went to a Nubian restaurant.
Okay.
It wasn't nothing. They had some vegetable, which wasn't up but collard greens
Okay then.
and rice. It was very
No, that's
interesting.
right. Yeah.
So they had different names, but when you ate it,
It's the same.
it was the
Same
same
food.
same food. Excellent.
See, and that's that long-term connection. Because even when you talk about Egypt, which was called Kemet before,
Kemet, right.
and you talk about Sea Island cotton, Sea Island cotton is supposed to be a breed of Kemetic or Egyptian cotton.
Yes.
So here's that family
Same
connection. It's the same
connection,
thing,
same
on and
connection.
on and on going.
I love it. I love it. So you got to come back.
Oh, I got to come back. I would love to. I
Teach a
would
class.
love to come here and be a scholar in residence for a little while.
We can make that happen.
Well, let's make them happen.
We can make that happen.
Let's make them happen.
No, I'm serious.
I'm serious too.
Okay.
But I could come when you do new housing for all the people.
You say you're not gonna go to the old house.
I want the
you
brand
new
new
house.
housing.
Lord,
Because I done
have
yet
mercy.
say you're building up new housing and things like
You
that.
got to build 'em
For
up.
all your people who are working and things, I come in for
You done
brokies
got
to
fancy.
my new house.
You done fancy.
Y'all clean up in the world.
Fancy.
And then congratulations. I know I'm a little bit late, but congratulations. Y'all HBCU of the year.
Yeah.
Go ahead
Tell
on.
South Carolina State about it.
Look, y'all don't start nothing. y'all get it in now? Y'all get it
Tell
in?
South Carolina State about
SC
it.
State. Y'all get it in now?
I'm a bulldog.
Now y'all go ahead on now. When y'all type that comment and thing underneath the video, y'all type in the hint. Him into me now. You hear what he say? Okay then. And last week, and come y'all, raise them up so then we ain't have to make him way back. And
You got to come back.
Make
Got
it
to
way
come
back.
back.
And don't wait till slow singing and flower bringing. Okay, we
Oh,
won't sing
because
it for that.
I don't want to give suburban all my money, no how.
I know that's right.
Lord. Jesus.
We ain't gonna talk about that. Okay. So yes, this is such a blessing. I'm so glad that
Good
we
to
had
have
this
you.
your time.
I'm glad to
together
see
and
it in
things
that
like
royal
that.
purple today.
Oh yeah, and look here, y'all painted the whole campus for me. I tell
Purple.
everybody.
Royal purple.
Royal purple.
That's
all
right.
the way. And every man I see that David had to leave purple in his tie.
Purple, that's
I
right.
say, go ahead. This is the place for the queen right
Purple
now.
and gold.
And gold. I done got my bag in the trunk of the car and everything. Got the little gift bag.
Oh, we
They
gonna
put a
get you
few
some
items
more.
in
Get
there,
you some
but I
more.
getting some more stuff like a bling bling.
And you come back as a
back.
scholar
Scholar
resident
resident.
in our social science and history department.
Oh, that'd be outstanding. You know, I'm a
Yeah.
computer scientist and mathematician
Oh,
by
Lord.
degrees.
Jeez.
So we can do a plenty of
That
things, but
just
the
make my
agriculture with the
herd hair.
math and the this and
Oh,
that and
yeah.
all of that. I still farm my own food too. I just ain't dig no theater and bring them here for you, but I might throw that in your
Well,
care package for send back
Please
with a
do.
little bit of life
Please do.
everlasting.
And some life
Life everlasting.
everlasting.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Good,
sir.
good.
And we got to keep you healthy.
Got to.
Got to keep you
Got to
healthy.
keep you healthy.
Yes, sir.
Life
Yes, sir.
everlasting. I need that.
In it. Yes, and we have to have all this year life going on and on and on with all of we to educate we people all around. So we're so proud of you for
And
this
keep the
year.
family together.
Got to keep the family
Yeah.
together. That's the key.
Gullah Geechee Nation.
In it. All the way.
Good.
And we be Gullah Geechee anointed people. And so glad that 100 children get this your time for tuning in just a little while. Now while we got y'all to tune up so we can crack we teeth for some other rest of thing what we ain't gonna put on the tape and things like that. You know what we're talking about, you know what we're talking about. And things like that. Then we so glad that 100 are there with we. And you know, if 100 are there with me, 100 go I know. This year, the what go I know. Peace and blessings, family.
God bless you.
I don't have to worry about the things ahead. I don't have to worry about the things ahead. I don't have to worry about the things ahead. I don't have to worry about the things ahead. I have to do it right. I have to do it right. I have to do it right.
How we doing, Alcorn? Good. My name is Ishmael Youssef. I'm a senior intern for the Office of Educational Equity and Inclusion. I'm a senior sociology major. And I have the privilege of introducing Queen Quet today. Community. A bond between a group of people is powerful beyond measure. When you consider the Diversity Champions, a student group here on the campus, and our mission of bringing the campus community together, Queen Quet's drive and persistence is an inspiration. When you think of cultural heritage and where we come from, we often forget our rich history and humble beginnings. In a world consumed by materialism and an ever-changing society that bats a blind eye to our past, Queen Quet has worked tirelessly to ensure the Gullah and Geechee nations' history and cultural traditions won't be forgotten. From collaborations with various government agencies, the White House, and her native state of South Carolina, Queen Quet is a force to be reckoned with, and we are honored she could join us here today. They often say history remembers kings. Well, today, his story will remember this queen. Everyone, please put your hands together for the chiefess and head of state of the nation for the Gullah and Geechee people, Queen Quet.
This storm so long, I've been in this your storm so long, crying, Lord, Lord, give we more time for pride. I've been in this your storm so long. Oh, this your honey time. Oh, this your honey time. Crying, Lord, Lord, give we more time for pride. I've been in this your storm so long. Down here, chillin' up, steady tall. You're gonna go on through like a young. Nibo, I think you're all easy. Many tell me, feet, baby, all of you are there. Get up. This your time of day. Walk in this shop. Great God, the children. Now stand tall. But then the day they now see the shell go. Everything going on. They got them in up. I see same way. They take time. They can take out that seed. That is just like a weed. Oh, they try to do everything good them over them. Them back on them say, yeah, taking time. Take way, who we be? Like that, look at we. That would mean for evil. For God, mean for God. So you know one thing. They steady. They pull this young. Steady. Pull that way there. Steady. And pull this your way. He ain't no tall. They ain't the middle. They let it see it. All they would take the one of these young. And great God, when I see Jonah hit that sword, when a mighty thing been growing up, right up, shall land with it would cast we down. Red man, then we call it shall chikra. Even though no America told her. Well, I was sweating a carry through the place and I call Southern Holland today. Yeah, there's such a thing. All through everything. The Kasabo, the Yamasi, the Adisto, the Cree, and all of that thing there. Then I had no children in there in Carolina.
Yeah.
I see them walk around with me on this place. Carolina, I'm going to show you where across yonder. In Carolina. But then they tell me, I know me who we be. How that thing going to go? How that can't be no more than Holy God may call him for me. But see, they're going to call over me this young new thing called slave. Ha! Another thing for them. Just like I ever taught said, they're going to take where we kneel. Take where we praise. Take where the show we now upon. One thing could never take away when the drum, right show. Yeah, never take on. Tore that thing with a feet soap. And I said, try something else again. So I try for lick the chill on that thing like that. Still, could take the shot. So no matter what they do, cast me down and walk in the shop when they call it seal cotton.
Then when the children still like do this show, and take them with in Carolina. Make some walk across you on your foot. There's a thing like that. Some had to go on your get this your place called Forking Road. Sit up there. Don't get into another rest of kind of car. See when people see that you know, things ain't soft. The thing not soft and the thing side board. Board and thing cut up their hand. The answers the blood spill all across them. Now see, kind of people not yet on the day. But that's why they evil. When they first come off, say Simon all that. And look around and see all this stuff they did. And see you on these thing that bend like a dish a day in the water. You see they call like Carolina gold. Them in the rice. And see all of that and then no see this ain't been in land. So he turn back together like a dish. And walk back now get Gullah. But that day, the dish be. We think say for to be a slave. I might be buried in my grave. Going home and go and be free.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
I said that children sing in the way the cracky teeth bone tall, you know. I see, so remember who you be and things like that. And that's what they ain't wrong. They don't want people along with children. Who you know? See, I've been on no slave tall. So when I had man. See, I've been on no such a thing, say, this young tool and thing just for what the rest of people. And people did, because we done know what we've been to do. We've been a blacksmith and thing like that over yonder. We've been the one who did all the agriculture over yonder. We've been the healers and thing over yonder. We've been the one that catch the baby and shake the baby over yonder. And then it'll get the day and children act like he ain't know who he done.
Yeah, boy.
But then of course, he drunk. In a beat. You know what thing like that? Imagine African people around and ain't no drum to beat. Great, dear, I can't take that. Not tall. Even when they tell me I was still rebellion, say, look ya, I'm not telling you how that no more. You ain't going to do this shot. You understand? I said, no, son. It's okay then. Ain't gonna happen? You'll see about that. And see the one where we still had this shot. Soon as they get it, they say, yeah. I see the children will not have this shot. It doesn't tear out. Yes, I can see it there. They can get it there. They don't do nothing tall. See when they shall be, people are kind. He ain't treating one of the thing. Treat push over and brush over. The kind down cross the bridge and thing today. Kind of all of the islands and thing. And look for we. I say where are they at? And thing like that. And look all in the bush and thing like that. Where are they at? Can still look for their children who still know this shot. Still got this shot and beat. Because they say, oh, we will find it. When they get it all Gullah in the Geechee. I see when they get there today. They get it, people are crying feet like this shot. Because they allow the rest of people to do them. Well, once it don't happen to 100 children and things like that, because when 100 get it, I'm not doing this all the time. Now when you go to Geechee, they get it, they're able to join in, you understand? But see, maybe 100 just like the other rest of people. When they come to see anything like that. And when you get it, you see, you don't understand. But then that's why when we switch to this, people also go back and say we don't exist anymore. All right? So now, you got to figure out which way you want the thing. Either you who God called you to be at all times, in all places, and in all spaces where your drum never stopped beating. Or you a slave. Because when the minute someone take your drum and they can make you silent, you're their slave. They are now the one paying the piper, and they'll tell you what the tune is. So even as I said to you, those who still have a drum beating, as soon as they hear this sound, they join in. and I had silence. So I said, well, I guess ain't no Gullah Geechees here, because if the Gullah Geechees heard it, they would have torn in. I give you another chance. And nothing happened. I had silence. So that means somebody must have took the drum from the tree at Mississippi. It's a wonder I saw a lot of vines growing here, choking the trees to death, silencing the drum. But see, where I come from, the oak grows, and the moss ain't with it. But the moss don't kill no oak tree. The moss joins with it. They grow together. It's about synchronicity. It's about the syncopation of the rhythm of the drum. Now let me see now. Because only a couple people went and picked their drum up a minute ago. So let me see if any more drums done got carved out of some of them trees. Maybe somebody got a machete, Sir Boxley, and cut down a few vines a few minutes ago. Let me just see, because a minute ago I could have heard the rat peeing on that cotton I put back there. I'm going to see what happened this time. Oh, freedom. Slow the car down. Y'all are trying to kill the horse? Slow the car down. Right there with me. There we go. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. I need hope. I will be my grave and going home to my grave and be free. If you got freedom in Mississippi, come on now. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Some of y'all been fronting, we know that. Y'all just been clapping because the next couple people ain't clapping. Because see, free people, you move when the spirit hits you. You don't stay poised. And, oh, okay, this is what we're to do right now. I ain't been that far in the spirit I can't see now. And folks who've been free, y'all was trying to, my sister was trying to hold it down. See, we ain't got the fan, we ain't got the church fan, but we got you covered, sister. Don't let them hold you in the seat now. It's all right if you get up. See, y'all in the right spot. See, y'all ain't never even took no seat. See, y'all knew what was coming. But the thing about it is that for so long, African people have not gathered together and been free to do so, unless it was Black History Month. February in the U.S., October in England, where you feel it's an authorized, sanctioned time to gather together to tell our story. Sound a little bit like Congo Square. where there's a sanctioned time the drum can come out, we can dance because they said, oh yes, this is when you can do it. In the Gullah Geechee Nation, they could never tell us when and what to do.
Yeah, boy. Yeah,
and herein lied the problem. Because as I mentioned to you in Gullah, the Igbo, Mandinka, Malinke, Yoruba, Gullah, Gizi, Mendi, Temni, Fiki, Bibio, and the numerous other African ethnic groups, not only from the western seaboard of the motherland that you've been taught to call Africa today, that we once called Alkebulan, but also Madagascar, are the roots of our ancestry.
Yo.
And when I mentioned that when they brought them in to today's place called Carolina, this place was already inhabited by our indigenous ancestors.
Yeah, boy.
Many of which who, when they made it here, by the time they got to Mississippi, fighting all the way, getting here, they started to rename them already. They called this band of freedom fighters Seminole.
Hey, yo.
So that even today, you think Seminole means a Native American, and many of the others, you think they're the other group. They call them Black Seminole or Afro Seminole. To instead of connecting, divide. To put this mental barrier before you. That way they don't have to build nothing else.
That's right. Yeah.
As soon as the barrier goes here, you don't need any architects. You don't need bricks. You don't need mortar. You don't need tabby. You don't need wood. All you need to do is build a barrier here, and you have everything else that you want cordoned off. And in Western society, the barrier is normally built as a square or a rectangle. As many of you probably hold in my bio in your hand notice, I'm a mathematician. So when I think of this, if I'm not drawing it on paper to actually do a mathematical calculation, I think of Western society. Because everything has to now fit within this frame.
Yep. Something
that somebody else structured. Well, I hear people use this terminology today, think outside the box. Gullah Geechee, they ain't never had no box. Let's even put that seed cotton or that rice or that indigo block and thing inside of them. Most times, then we even had a barrel or we had a sack. It's a rare occasion you see us with a box. You see us with baskets. It's a rare occasion you see us with a box. And when we get a box, and you say, yeah, where you get that box in from? Now I've been going across the bridge on it and walk around and had to eat a box and bring them back across your That came from somebody else's culture again. Brought them home. But what they do with it, adapted to fit what we need it to be, which is normally a circle of connection.
Yeah, bro.
So when you start to attempt to take a linear construct and run it through a circle, you split it in half. And now what happens becomes similar to how y'all are seated here today. There's a chasm between the two. That's not by accident. That is by design. The fact that many people around the world never heard of Gullah Geechee is by design. When you have heard of it, you heard stuff like backward, ignorant, rice-eating people. You heard stuff like stay away from them.
Yeah, bro.
You heard stuff like they some funny talking people. You heard they were slaves. You heard those are Negro folks on the island. We have heard what you heard. It don't hurt us. Because we know who we be. Now, let me see if you heard this. Have you ever heard of black cargo? Raise your hand. Have you ever heard of black gold? Raise your hand. Those who raised their hand and said black gold, my brother right here in a nice suit. What did you hear? What was black gold?
Slave.
My sister.
I just knew it was 14 karat.
14 karat. I saw some hands in the middle. Somebody in the middle is?
What is it? Oil. On this side, somewhere to the back? What did you say? Oil also. Right. Black gold, Texas tea. Right? Next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. Ken folks said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is a place you ought to be. And rolled up the truck and moved to Beverly Hills. Right? Hills, that is. Swimming pools, movie stars. Right? Yeah, that's how y'all heard black gold was oil. All right? But as the brother said, black gold was what they called, and let's change that word. He said slaves. Black gold is what they called enslaved Africans. If you learn nothing else or remember nothing else today, when you leave this room from here and after, always say enslaved Africans. Part of the design was to say the word slave, teach you the word slave, teach you the word slave over and over and tell you slaves were brought from Africa. No, men, women, and children were kidnapped from Africa. And then they were enslaved. They were put into bondage. But even those who were placing them in bondage knew their richness, knew their value, and that is why they called them black gold. But see, the process was to tell you, to tell your children, so your children would tell your children's children that they were slaves and that was all that they were. Because each time that you say the word slave, you take away a part of the humanity of the person. When you say the word slave, you begin to slowly strip that individual of having intellectual prowess. You begin to take away the existence of culture, because what world is slave? What country, continent is slave? You from slave?
Outer space.
See? So now you have no country, you have no continent, you have nowhere. You are chattel. You are an item. You are no different than this apron. Because when I want you on, I have you on. When I want you off, I take you off. When I send you over here, you go. If I bring you here, you move. You see what I mean? Again, your drum is gone when you are asleep. But when somebody can't do that, when they say, come on here, I say, get over here now. Do what I say. You ain't moved yet. You become a problem. Because you still can think. Someone walk up to you and say, slave, and you don't respond, you a problem. If your mama named you Modibo and somebody come to her, Mike, get over here. You don't move, you're a problem. So now we have to beat you into submission. We have to now cut this line, not only into your flesh, but we will cut it into your mind and split you into groups and make you believe them over there ain't got nothing to do with us over here. And them over there is the ones as the drivers. That's why they standing over us. And them over there, they figure they're really big time because they in the house. All the rest of us out here in the field. So now, we don't like them because they're in the house. We in the field. But I don't like you neither because you in the rice field. I'm over here in the cotton field. I feel like the cotton field harder than the rice field. Even though in the rice field, the snake is there, the rats are there, the bobolinks are there. I'm getting pneumonia because I am in moisture up to my knee. You telling me about your hand that's cut and your back that's hurt from pulling this 100 pounds of cotton. Don't fool yourself. 100 pounds of anything is 100 pounds. Don't think because you pick up a Q-tip box, you talk about something. I don't know what their old people be complaining about. My grandmama them said they used to pick cotton. They complaining cotton ain't heavy. 100 pounds of cotton. Let me see you pick it up.
Okay.
Then you'll know what they talking about.
Q-tip creating that stuff in a factory. They ain't picking nothing from no field. How many of y'all got on denim today? Jeans, if you want to understand what denim is. I mean, at university, y'all look at denim? Let me Google that. How many of you have on denim today? I saw a few hands. What color? Blue. How did it get blue originally? It was dyed by what? Indigo. What's indigo? It's a natural dye coming from a plant that actually looks green when it's growing. It's not until it's harvestable that, you know how you get those little veins in the back of a leaf? That begins to look purple like everything else up in this building, including the queen. And then, you know, it's harvest time. That is when you go out and you begin to pull down the leaves and you start to be able to put them into substances. We ain't gonna get into the nasty kind of substances collected from in the bottoms, as we might call it, and from the enslavement cabins, that then those leaves would be soaked in vats, and after a period of time you strain it out and then you get your indigo. Cotton, rice, and indigo became the three major cash crops that built not only the infrastructure of what is now the Gullah Geechee Nation, but of all of the United States. The black gold was the ones that brought in the knowledge of how do you grow these crops here. How are you able on sea islands? If I tell you the sea islands from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida, are where the Gullah Geechee Nation is located. And we live in the Atlantic Ocean, on top this year. What kind of water am I talking about there?
Salt.
Salt water. What kind of water does rice need to grow? Fresh water. So how is it then that you are able to grow Carolina Gold rice, not by the bunch, but by the tens of thousands of tons? Because you have engineering knowledge. That you realize how to catch rainwater in cisterns, how to actually engineer a channel like what sits between y'all now, but make this a dike. And then you engineer what are called trunks that would go within there. You know how to tap freshwater inlets that are further inland, channel them down to the coastal areas as well. Be able to then, for what's called the low country part, the mainland portions that go closer to the St. Johns River, the westernmost boundary of the Gullah Geechee Nation, know how to channel that water in to some of those areas that we would call the highland rice areas. And then on the sea islands, using this fresh water that's falling from the sky, still be able to flood these places at the appropriate time, and then also be able to know when to let this water out so this plant can grow. And then they tell you what? You're who? The descendant of a slave or the descendant of a scientist and an engineer, agriculturalist. These are the things that were brought in the belly of the beast when we start talking about the transatlantic slave trade triangle. So when we tell you the names of our ancestors, the countries from which they originate, you bring back their humanity. You restore their names. You give back the drum. Why do you think that they didn't want Africans to play the drum?
That's right.
Anybody got an idea? He said because of the rhythm?
The communication.
Because of the communication. Exactly. Why do you think the police want to lock y'all up for rolling through with King Kong in y'all trunk right now? All right? Communication. But the drum before communicated that it was time to gather. The drum before communicated it's time to escape. The drum before communicated if there was a crisis in our community. the way some of us are playing the drum today, we're creating the crisis within our community.
Yeah, boy.
So we got to know what rhythm we playing and what we playing it for. We were raised, there's a time and a place for everything. But you don't go doing every and any kind of thing all out in the street. Because that's an insult to your mama and your mama them.
Thank you.
And you're supposed to respect your elders and much less respect your ancestors. The black gold luster is coming off by the behavior of our own people who bought into the line that was beaten into people's minds. And I'm going to tell you that y'all know exactly what line that is. It is a word that when I was younger than y'all who are going to college, I looked up in a Webster dictionary. There wasn't no Google. There were things called books. These are these things that you actually kill the trees and you make paper, not the papyrus that, you know, it actually, you know, you turned it and it opened it like that, books. Not this. All right? Turned it. We do this. All right? This thing called books. Webster then defined this term as lazy, shiftless individual. Y'all can say it even though I don't like the sound of the word.
Nigga.
Okay. Now, let me help you out.
Help.
Any lazy people in the room? Raise your hand. They lazy in here because they ain't going to even raise their hand. They ain't going to vote. All right, anybody besides me in the room ever met a lazy person? You ever had to work with some lazy people? I ain't gonna talk about your family, so I ain't gonna ask if you ever had to live with it. But y'all do understand. I don't have to define lazy. We got that. But let me help you on shifting. Watch me.
This is a shift. And no, I'm not dancing. I'm not doing no line dance. This is a shift. Does that look difficult to anybody? No. No. Shiftless is this. Hurricane wind come. Not. What? Snake trying to bite you? That's shiftless. So now,
you don't live by these people. You live on one continent. But you're going to build ships, which take, again, engineering, takes products, wood, so on. You are going to now get craftsmen to build ships. You're going to leave your continent. You're going to go to another continent. And you are going to pick up tens to hundreds of thousands to millions of lazy, shiftless individuals. And then bring them to some islands, drop some off. Then bring them around to somebody else's continent. All right, not yours. You ain't take them back to yours. You brought them around to somebody else's continent to do what with them? Hold on. Somebody just said to work. Somebody said to sell them. Sell them for what? Who want to buy a lazy, shiftless individual? You don't work no lazy people. Lazy people work their mind on how to not do no work. So do you mean to tell me you believe you come from a nigger? You think a nigger built a rice dike? You think a nigger built a rice trunk? You think a nigger built all of what is now America? That never happened. Those were African people who had knowledge, who were black gold, who got enslaved. But in order to convince you that you cannot aspire to be an engineer, you cannot aspire to be a landowner, you cannot aspire to work with your community and your culture, I have to convince you you descend from the opposite of who you descend from.
All right.
So I can't tell you they were workers. And that in fact on the Sea Islands, the Gullah Geechees were essentially autonomous. We were written of during chattel enslavement as Torah nation within a nation. As Peter Wood's title of his book goes, we were the black majority from 1670 all the way until the 1980s in the Gullah Geechee Nation, from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida, and 30 to 35 miles inland to the St. Johns River. And where I grew up on St. Helena Island, I don't know no niggas. At least I ain't know none growing up. Now, if people converted themselves into being that, then that was a personal choice. So again, biblical scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
So, let me help you. So that the next time you Google Gullah Geechee and you see that people don't have no shoes on, you can say that's a lie from the pits of hell because Queen Quet has something. The next time you Google and the only thing you see about us is somebody drawn now, this ain't a photograph, they just sketch as only being in a rice field, or only sitting there sewing a sweetgrass basket, or only stirring a pot of grits. Then, you see what happens when you got power? Then the mic going, you stay where it's supposed to be. If you see that, then let's get your mind renewed and let them know that's not the only image, and it should have never been. This is propaganda. If I put the barrier in your mind, I don't need to do anything else. That's why the statement, a picture is worth how much? 1,000 words. Why do you think there's now Facebook? Because now I can send you an image of something and just say, well, that's who you are. So if I keep sending you 1,000 images a day of brothers sagging, you go sagging.
That's right.
But if I sent you 1,000 images a day, help me out, my brothers, right here. Dr. Greenfield, my brother, right here. And this, come right here, right quick. If I sent you, and my brother, right here, come on, right here. This is good. Now, if I sent you 1,000 images a day of some fine-looking brothers dressed like this, all right, that's right, that's right. Oh, do that right there. Do that right there. All right, nice. Thank you. Now, thank y'all. And I appreciate the fact that I noticed purple in almost all their ties. See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? All right. If I sent you an image of these 3 men or 3 brothers in general dressed like they are every day, 1,000 of those pictures, 1,000 of those pictures, 1,000 of those pictures, you think y'all might show up to the store talking about, yo, what's up with that? Can I get one of those? Right? Now, imaging. And you know what they call it? Branding and marketing. Does the word branding sound familiar? Yes. Why? They used to brand y'all. Who just said that? Stand up for me. So you trying to let us all know you ain't in this? Oh, all right. Oh, we good. We good. All right. So they used to brand us. Okay. In what way? What you referring to?
Like, hot irons.
Right, with hot irons, the same way they did cattle.
Yeah.
Right? Right. So that's no different. That's why the word is their branding. I owned a fashion company. I did couture design in New York City. Our label was Chabali label. I don't wear other people's label usually. And even if I do, I don't wear it on the outside of my clothes. I never was one of the people to do that. It is called branding. And my spirit won't allow me to be burnt.
Yeah.
So you have to overstand, because we've been under long enough, you have to overstand that the marketing of and to Africans hasn't stopped. because those images are marketed to you.
Yes.
All right? So if I want you to follow a certain trend, I send you a certain image. If I want you to follow a different trend, I send you a different image. So that's why for years they didn't send you images of people like Philip Simmons, who was a blacksmith working on ironworks in Charleston, South Carolina. They did not send you images of African people actually being the engineers even during chattel enslavement. Instead, they made Hollywood films that made you think either they were the happy people on the plantation always singing and going on, or the reverse, that they always remained there and never fought for freedom, and that they just let their drum be silenced. This is Freedom Summer here in Mississippi.
It surely is.
This is Freedom Summer in Mississippi, not just because of 50 years ago what took place here, but 150 years ago what took place here. When you're talking about marching to freedom, when we say marching to freedom 150 years ago, it wasn't by permit. It wasn't by nobody knowing in advance how much crowd you expect to have and which route you could take and which way you're going. It was about people saying we're taking freedom in our own hands. Shango. We are going, Shango, we are only going with what weapons we have, with what knowledge we have, and with the Spirit of God with us, and we're going into freedom. Yep. Hence the song, before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Freedom was always the goal. So when we talk today about the Gullah Geechee Nation and human rights and self-determination, freedom is still the goal. There are those who are branding and marketing the Sea Islands as a great resort place to come to. Yep. As a place for you to go. There you go. Right? 4. And we over there 5. What is it? They make you believe that the islands are all golf courses. I'm here to let you know that is inaccurate. They make you believe that Gullah Geechees were all those negative terminologies I mentioned earlier, and I'm here to let you know that was never accurate, and it still is not accurate. They make you believe that we still are so, as what was the term you said earlier, primitive, that we don't even have electricity, that we don't have bridges. There are some islands that don't have bridges, but many of them are connected, and those bridges unfortunately took away freedom out of the minds of many. When they went across the mainstream, it's as if their consciousness got drowned and their drum got thrown overboard, because then they gave up their land. Gullah Geechees became landowners in 1862. The very same land that their ancestors and them themselves at that point had been enslaved on, they purchased. Many people heard this term, 40 acres and a mule. Raise your hand if you ever heard of that. Yeah. You think it's Spike Lee Company, right? That what y'all think? It is, but where did he get that from? Anybody know? From a law.
When they freed the slaves, they gave them 40 acres. They were supposed to give them 40 acres.
Okay, I was wondering if you was going to change that. She said when they free, and then what term did I tell y'all to change? Slave. So I'm going to give you a chance to correct what you said.
Black people that was enslaved.
So she's saying that they, who is they?
British.
The American.
She said the British. The American government. She said the American government, first she said gave, then she corrected and said was supposed to give the people who had been the enslaved Africans 40 acres and a mule. Anybody agree with her? If you agree with her, raise your hand if that's the right answer. All right, someone else gave me the answer that was a law, and if I agree with that, raise your hands. Fine if you agree with both. Okay, y'all agree with that. All right, let me tell you what it was. It came from William Tecumseh Sherman's Special Field Order number 15. Y'all heard of Sherman's March that burnt down a whole bunch of things all through the South? All right. Well, William Tecumseh Sherman wrote the special field order that stated that from Charleston, that's Charleston, South Carolina, and all the abandoned rice fields southward to Fernandina, which is where Representative Glenda Simmons Jenkins is from, which is in Florida, and 30 miles to the St. Johns River, will be distributed to the, quote, Negroes in 40-acre plots, and that no whites should dwell herein unless in military occupation. There was no mule in that field order. But what was in it was decommissioned goods, essentially. So the things that the soldiers were no longer using at war was still going on. The Emancipation Proclamation hadn't even yet been read. This was the time frame. All this is happening because he didn't know what to do with all of these people of African descent that he was encountering by the tens of thousands as he was marching, and they're looking for food and shelter and clothing. He's like, what can we do? They're going to need to take care of themselves. And he knew quite well. They knew how to do that because they had been taking care of themselves and everybody else that had been enslaving them.
All right.
So all they now needed was land to stay on. Why does the word land even ring a bell where we're all in this building right now? Y'all don't know? I'm hearing it.
Land is important.
Land's important, but also I heard, there we go. So Alcorn was what? The first land grant institution to become a HBCU. Yeah, I see you too. What's up? Right? So now, here it is that land continues to be, as was stated, important. Not only as a place to educate, but as a place to self-sustain. Because when you own land and you still keep your own mind intact, you can create what you need to survive on and from that land. That is what our ancestors did. Not only on the Sea Islands, but right here in Mississippi.
That's right.
Even those that y'all call Geechee and teased and all that kind of stuff for years in this state that were original Geechees that are still here, recognize they are descendants of the Geechee, G-I-D-Z-I, the Keesee, K-I-S-S-E-E. That's why they speak the way they speak. That is why they cook the way they cook. That's why they shout the way they shout, because they drum. Still beating. That's right, sister. That sister got it on here too. She like that. All right? So it is crucial that we do as biblical scripture says. Wisdom is the principal thing. So get wisdom. But in all thy getting, get understanding. So it's crucial that we do not descend. We don't need to get understanding. We don't descend from slaves. We don't descend from niggers. And we don't need to produce no slaves and no niggers going forward. Because we would have done a disgrace to those who died 50 years ago. We would have done a disgrace to those who died 150 years ago and all these years in between if we do that. So if you do nothing else, again today, go tell somebody what I said. Run, tell that. Tweet that. Quote that. Shout that. Sing that. I was back there with the choir. I was like, yes, come on. Come on. I was going to bust out here and get y'all going there. I said, I better stay back till they call me. But it is a blessing to be back in Mississippi. And Freedom Summer. And to finally get a few folks that had a drum to shout with me for a little while. So I won't have to go back home and talk about y'all behind y'all back. And say, I got to Mississippi and ain't not a living soul had a drum. Because when I started clapping, they couldn't clap. When I started shouting, they looked at me like I was on TV. This is going to be on Gullah Geechee TV, by the way, so don't let me talk about y'all too bad. The world will know. All right? So I'm pleased, and I want to thank Dr. Greenfield. He has been in touch with my office for 2 years, trying to make this happen. And so I want to thank you for that. I want to thank the dean, and definitely, is Dr. Brown? Did he make it here? No? President Brown? No? Not yet? All right. I want to thank my homeboy. Because, see, I know Dr. Greenfield and other people, you know, they think they run something because they're in charge of departments and all that kind of stuff. But you know what I'm saying? But if the president of the university said you ain't doing it, then you ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get the credit where the credit is due. You see what I'm saying? And see, y'all might not have known this, but see, what had happened was that actually the president here, actually from Charleston, he Gullah Geechee. It is a blessing. I know that he's on travel himself. And so definitely I appreciate and respect the fact that he is here at this university and that y'all have welcomed him in and that y'all are working together, because all I heard all the way here was the word family, family, family. And then to have my intro start and I hear the word community. That's it. That's right. And I always say to people, community for me means that it unifies you what you have in common. And so I knew once I switched over to this right here, y'all could handle this. See, when I'm going to throw them down like this here, y'all been like, y'all did that to me. But once I switched to this, maybe I should have busted up in here and said, what's up, y'all? Right? Y'all was all right with that, right? Y'all all right? All right. So, and I told Sister Glenda, I said, you wait, I'm going to say to them, well, this place is called Alcorn and y'all ain't feed me yet. So I'm looking for a meal around here. I'm a vegetarian too. Y'all said Alcorn. I was ready. I get here, ain't no cornfield, ain't nothing talking about land, grant, agricultural, university. I said, what? Somebody lied. No, but yes, but I got here. And I saw black gold. I looked around and I saw richness. I looked around, I saw blessing. I looked around, I saw pride. And so when I heard community, and that brother said, because that's what it is, I said, good, I'm at home now. And so it's a blessing to be here. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you who took the time out today to come in. And I know the ones who left out wasn't because they were offended, but they got to get to class. I was a scholar myself. Some say, oh, you still are. But I mean, when I was in college, I didn't play around with no classes now. I graduated with honors. So my thing is, if you got to go to class, you're going to class. You tweet me later and apologize. Sorry, Queen Quet, you saw me with my finger up, but I had to get to class. I'm all right. Now you just get up here with your no man of self and just walk out. I got problems. And I'm going to tweet your mama and tell your mama she should have raised you right. All right. So, but before I go and before the rest of you have to go, we just want to open up the floor for a couple of questions. We got a little bit of time, right?
About 2 or 3 minutes. I think we have about 2 or 3 minutes.
2 or 3 minutes.
So for those who have a question or a comment for Queen Quet, we'd certainly love to hear that.
We can take one or two.
Or I think you probably can be heard if you just stand up and raise your voice.
And project.
Who here would like to just share a comment, an idea, a feeling, a reaction?
Y'all good.
Or a question?
Oh, y'all bored.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm well, my brother. How you doing?
All right, my name's Jamal Ross from Atlanta, Georgia.
All right.
And I was just relating to a lot of the things you were saying. Over the summer, I was looking to a lot of the history of the African people.
Yes.
And one thing that really stuck out to me was I learned that during the Civil Rights Movement, one thing that the government tried to do was separate the African community by bringing upon the women's rights. Right. And black women really had no right in that movement because there was a problem between them and the men in their family.
In the family, right.
And another thing is I'm trying to watch the movie Hidden Colors, which I encourage everyone to watch.
Yeah, Hidden Colors.
It's a documentary about the history of African people in America.
Yes, that's one of many good ones. Thank you for that commentary.
We'll take 2 more. I'll just ask those if you don't mind just waiting for 2 more.
Mine is more of a statement than a question.
Yes.
I just want to say I really felt empowered by the presentation. I was very enlightened as an African American man being educated. I just really was really overwhelmed with it because it really hit home because it's all about knowledge, but with knowledge you must get that understanding. And once you get that understanding, you can do great things with it.
Yes, so please do. Please do. And I do have books and CDs and DVDs up here for sale, and I'll be autographing after we close out too, so y'all don't have to necessarily run out. And I'm Gullah Geechee Nation on Facebook, at Gullah Geechee on Twitter. So for all y'all who leaving or your friends who leaving, y'all can give them that information. Gullah Geechee Nation on Facebook, at Gullah Geechee on Twitter. Yes.
Hi, my name is Lisa Smith. I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, I was up in Chi-Town last year. What's up?
You know, I'm from like a low-income area, and you know.
Which area?
Harvey.
Harvey. Okay, I heard of it. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just get tired, and as far as you know, the N-word and what it means being lazy, I feel like hearing this. It just feels good. It refreshes me. It makes me want to work harder in school. Please. Like, because being around that all summer, you know, you kind of fall into it. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I just wanted to thank you for giving me those words.
Yes, and stay out of it. Once you know you out, do not return to the bondage. You escape, don't return to the plantation of that. If you can elevate some and get them to come out the plantation with you, you bring them. If they don't want to go, leave them there, but you keep running from that. All right? Definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alcorn family, let us show our love and appreciation for Queen Quet.